High above the clouds, silent and unseen, death arrived. The US B-2 Spirit, stealth perfected, just showed the world how precision meets power. Iranian nuclear sites were hit, but the real story? It's not just how they did it. It's why. Stay with me till the end, because the final detail changes everything. Imagine a shadow, born of night, stretching continents in absolute silence, delivering a force to reach the unreachable, the unbreachable. This is no myth. It's the reality of a new kind of power. To ignore its final revelations is to remain blind to what is now possible. Don't look away. Distant reach. There are distances that defy easy comprehension, spans of earth and ocean that typically demarcate separate worlds. To project power across such expanses, to deliver a decisive message with precision and without leaving a visible trace until the moment of impact, speaks to a capability that reshapes the very nature of global reach. Consider the undertaking. 7 B-2 Spirit bombers, not launched from a nearby friendly base, but from the heartland of America, Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. This was not a short hop across a contested border, it was an odyssey. A round-trip journey measuring approximately 7,000 miles, an immense corridor of air traversed by these flying wings, a testament to endurance, both human and mechanical. The world turned beneath them, day giving way to night, then day again, as they held their course. The figure of 37 hours non-stop resonates with the scale of this commitment. Nearly 2 full days suspended between earth and sky, a bubble of focused intent moving inexorably towards its distant objective and then back to its point of origin. Such a feat is not achieved by sleek design and powerful engines alone. It requires a lifeline, a constant replenishment of the vital fluids that keep these technological marvels aloft. This lifeline came in the form of tanker aircraft, multiple aerial refuelings orchestrated with balletic precision in the vast emptiness of the sky. These airborne tankers, themselves feats of engineering and logistical planning, met the bombers at predetermined points, extending their range, transforming what would be a regional capability into a truly intercontinental one. Each rendezvous, a delicate dance of approach and connection, transferred thousands of pounds of fuel, pushing back the limitations of endurance, ensuring the mission could press on. The very concept of a global strike capability rests upon such foundations. It is the tangible manifestation of a doctrine that aims to hold any target, anywhere on the planet, at risk if deemed necessary. The B-2, by its very design, is an instrument of this doctrine. But it is the intricate support system, the aerial refueling armada, that truly unlocks its global potential. Without this airborne umbilical cord, the effective range would shrink, the operational possibilities diminish. This mission showcased not just the capabilities of the bomber itself, but the maturity and sophistication of the entire support infrastructure that underpins such long-range power projection. It spoke of meticulous planning, flawless execution across multiple aircrews and support teams, all synchronized towards a single, critical outcome. The immense distance was not just a geographical challenge, it was a statement of resolve, a demonstration of the capacity to reach out and touch a target with formidable precision, irrespective of the intervening miles. The psychological impact of such a long-range capability cannot be overstated. It forces a recalibration of defensive postures, an understanding that sanctuary, once defined by distance, is no longer guaranteed. The aircrews, encased within their aircraft for those 37 hours, endured physical and mental stresses, maintaining peak alertness and readiness despite the fatigue inherent in such a protracted flight. Their skill, their discipline, formed the human element of this technological spearhead. The mission's success began long before the weapons were released. It began with the launch from American soil, with the first successful link-up with a tanker, with every hour navigated flawlessly across the globe. This was endurance writ large, a powerful prologue to the silent arrival over heavily defended territory. The world may be vast, but operations like this demonstrate that for certain unique assets, it has become undeniably smaller, reachable. This colossal journey was not merely about traversing miles, it was a critical component of the mission's stealth. By originating from such a great distance, the element of surprise was maximized. There were no telltale movements from regional bases, no massing of forces that might alert an adversary. The strike package materialized seemingly from nowhere, having crossed continents in a single, unbroken flight. This ability to appear unannounced, deep within another nation's sphere of influence, is a profound strategic advantage made possible only by mastering the complexities of long-range, refuelable air power. Each of those 7,000 miles was a testament to design, to training, to an unyielding commitment to achieving global presence, turning the vastness of the planet into an operational theater. Unseen passage, the essence of the B-2 Spirit bomber, its defining characteristic and the key to its extraordinary effectiveness, lies in its ability to become a ghost in the machine of modern air defense. The term stealth only begins to describe the layers of advanced technology and ingenious design that allow this aircraft to penetrate deep into hostile airspace, territories bristling with sophisticated radar systems and missile batteries, and to do so virtually undetected. For Operation Midnight Hammer, this was not merely an advantage, it was a fundamental prerequisite for success. Iranian airspace, particularly around its most sensitive nuclear facilities, was, and is, defended by a network designed to identify and intercept intruders. Yet, the B-2s slipped through these defenses, unseen, unheard, like specters navigating a digital battlefield. The aircraft's unique flying wing shape, devoid of traditional tail surfaces and sharp angles, is meticulously engineered to deflect radar waves, scattering them rather than reflecting them back to their source. Its surfaces are coated with radar-absorbent materials, a secretive skin that drinks in electromagnetic energy, further diminishing its return signature. Even the engine exhaust is cooled and managed to reduce its infrared profile, making it harder for heat-seeking sensors to lock on. Compounding this, the bombers maintained strict radio silence throughout their ingress and egress, offering no electronic whispers that could betray their presence or their path. They became shadows moving through the dark, relying on pre-programmed routes and internal navigation systems, isolated from the outside world, yet perfectly aware of their position and trajectory. This capability to operate with such profound discretion allowed the B-2s to bypass the early warning systems, to negate the interceptor aircraft, and to reach their heavily guarded targets without triggering an alert. Imagine the silent tension within the cockpits, the crews trusting implicitly in the layers of technology that rendered them invisible to the searching eyes of enemy radar. They were alone, deep in denied territory, a handful of aircraft carrying an immense responsibility, their safety and the mission's success hinging on their ability to remain phantoms. This wasn't just about avoiding detection. It was about ensuring that the first indication of their presence was the impact of their ordnance, denying the adversary any opportunity to react, to disperse assets, or to mount an effective defense of the specific targets. The psychological pressure on an adversary presented by such a capability is immense. If your most advanced defenses can be bypassed without warning, if your most secure sites can be targeted with impunity, then the strategic calculus shifts dramatically. The B-2's stealth access effectively creates a breach in the armor of even well-defended nations, introducing an element of profound uncertainty. The sophistication of the Iranian air defenses was not a trivial matter. It represented a significant investment in technology and training. Yet, the B-2's design philosophy, focusing on low observability across multiple spectrums, proved superior, allowing it to navigate this gauntlet. This unseen passage was a triumph of engineering, a vindication of decades of research and development poured into the quest for true stealth. The implications of this successful penetration are far-reaching. It demonstrated that even facilities buried deep underground, protected by layers of physical security and sophisticated air defenses, are not invulnerable if they can be reached undetected by a platform capable of delivering overwhelming force. The radio silence, the minimal radar signature, the careful thermal management, all these elements combine to weave a cloak of invisibility around the bombers, enabling them to execute their mission with a freedom of action that would be impossible for conventional aircraft. This unseen passage was the critical enabler, the silent key that unlocked the door to some of Iran's most fortified secrets, paving the way for the precision strikes that followed. It underscores a fundamental truth in modern warfare: what cannot be seen cannot be effectively countered. Earth-shattering. At the heart of Operation Midnight Hammer lay not only the unprecedented reach and stealth of the B-2 bombers, but also the formidable power of their payload, the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP. This mission marked the combat debut of this extraordinary weapon, a 30,000-pound behemoth specifically designed to address the challenge of deeply buried, hardened targets. These are structures designed to withstand conventional attack, facilities entombed beneath tens of meters of earth or reinforced concrete, believed by their creators to be safe havens for critical assets. The MOP was conceived and engineered to nullify that perceived invulnerability. Its very existence is a testament to the relentless pursuit of capabilities to hold any target at risk, no matter how deeply it seeks to hide. The sheer scale of the GBU-57 is difficult to comprehend. 30,000 pounds translates to roughly 15 tons of high explosive power and hardened steel, guided with pinpoint accuracy by GPS and internal navigation systems. Its defining characteristic is its ability to penetrate up to 60 meters or 200 feet of earth or even significantly reinforced concrete before detonating its devastating warhead. This is not merely an explosion on the surface. It is a force delivered deep into the earth, designed to collapse tunnels, destroy underground chambers, and neutralize assets that other munitions simply cannot reach. For targets like Iran's Fordo and Natanz nuclear facilities, known for their deep and hardened construction, the MOP was the precise tool required for a task that had previously seemed almost insurmountable by conventional means. The mission saw the deployment of 14 of these massive bombs, 12 directed at the Fordo fuel enrichment plant and 2 at the Natanz facility. Each release was a moment of profound significance. The first combat use of a weapon system years in development designed for exactly this type of scenario. The MOPs, released from optimal altitudes that maximized their kinetic energy and penetration potential, sometimes from distances up to 24 miles from the target itself, would have plummeted towards their designated aim points, their immense weight driving them through protective layers of earth and concrete. The ensuing detonations deep underground would have created shockwaves and overpressures capable of destroying or severely damaging the intricate equipment and structures housed within these subterranean complexes. The decision to use the MOP underscored the strategic importance of the targets and the determination to achieve definitive results. Lesser munitions might have cratered the surface or damaged superficial structures, but the goal here was to reach the operational heart of these facilities. The GBU-57 represents a quantum leap in conventional bunker-busting capability, providing an option that did not exist in previous eras, short of resorting to nuclear weapons with their far wider and more indiscriminate effects. This ability to surgically strike deep underground targets with such massive conventional force changes the defensive calculations for any nation relying on buried infrastructure for its most critical programs. The earth-shattering impact of the MOPS was not just physical, it was a strategic signal. The success of these deep strikes, enabled by the B-2's unique ability to carry and deliver such a large internal payload while maintaining stealth, showcased a new level of conventional military power. The meticulous guidance ensured that this immense destructive force was precisely applied, minimizing collateral damage while maximizing the effect on the intended targets. The combat debut of the GBU-57 MOP in Operation Midnight Hammer was a pivotal moment, demonstrating that even the most deeply fortified secrets are not beyond the reach of determined, technologically advanced adversaries. The ground may have seemed an impenetrable shield, but these weapons proved that, with the right combination of mass and precision, it could indeed be pierced and its hidden contents addressed with overwhelming force. Combined arms. The silent passage of the B-2 bombers and the devastating impact of their MOPS, while central to Operation Midnight Hammer, were not events occurring in a vacuum. They were the spearhead of a much broader, meticulously integrated operation, a symphony of combined arms where multiple elements worked in concert to ensure mission success and mitigate risk. The profound effectiveness of this deep strike relied heavily on a sophisticated network of support, intelligence, and complementary actions, both preceding and accompanying the bomber's perilous journey. This holistic approach recognized that even the most advanced platform benefits from a carefully prepared operational environment, and the synergistic effects of multiple capabilities applied simultaneously. Crucially, the path for the B-2s was, in part, paved by prior actions. Reports indicate that Israeli Mossad operations and even airstrikes had already undertaken efforts to degrade Iran's air defense capabilities. Such activities, whether focused on intelligence gathering, cyber disruption, or the physical attrition of radar sites and command and control nodes, would have created vulnerabilities, gaps in awareness, and a general state of disruption within the Iranian defensive network. This created a more permissive environment, subtly weakening the very systems the B-2s were designed to elude. While the B-2's stealth is its primary defense, any degradation of the opposing sensor and response network further enhances its survivability and operational freedom. This preceding activity represents a layer of unseen preparation, crucial groundwork laid before the primary strike force was even launched. As the B-2s made their way towards their targets, they were not entirely alone in the sky. U.S. fighter jets, likely F-22 Raptors with their own advanced stealth and air superiority capabilities, provided a protective escort, ready to engage any unforeseen aerial threats that might materialize despite the B-2's low observability. Furthermore, a suite of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR) aircraft, along with electronic warfare platforms, would have been active, monitoring the electromagnetic spectrum, jamming enemy radar and communications if necessary, and providing real-time situational awareness to the entire strike package. This created an invisible shield of information and electronic countermeasures, further blinding the adversary and protecting the core bombing mission. Adding another layer of complexity and pressure on Iranian defenses, U.S. submarines, operating silently in nearby waters, simultaneously launched a volley of approximately 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles. These missiles, targeting air defense sites and other military installations around Natanz and Isfahan, served a critical purpose: to saturate and overwhelm any remaining air defense capabilities. By presenting multiple threats from different vectors and of different types, the cruise missiles would have forced Iranian air defense operators to divide their attention and resources, further degrading their ability to detect or effectively respond to the B-2s. This synergy between submarine-launched cruise missiles and penetrating bombers demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of how to orchestrate complex joint operations to maximize effect and confuse an opponent. The Tomahawks acted as a high-tech distraction and suppressor, contributing directly to the B-2's unhindered access. This integrated approach highlights a core principle of modern advanced warfare. Success is rarely the product of a single weapon system, no matter how capable. Instead, it arises from the skillful orchestration of diverse assets, each contributing its unique strengths to achieve a common objective: the physical security provided by escorts, the electronic blinding by EW aircraft, the intelligence gathered by ISR platforms, the suppressive effect of cruise missiles, and the groundwork laid by allies. All these elements were woven together into a cohesive operational fabric. Operation Midnight Hammer was a profound demonstration not just of the B-2 and the MOP, but of the United States' ability to project power through a deeply integrated multi-domain strike capability, a testament to intricate planning and seamless inter-service cooperation. Calculated delivery. The success of an operation as audacious and complex as Midnight Hammer hinges not only on advanced technology and overwhelming firepower, but also on the meticulousness of its tactical execution. Every phase, from the initial planning to the final weapon release, demanded an extraordinary level of precision, foresight, and disciplined adherence to carefully crafted protocols. The journey of thousands of miles, the penetration of sophisticated air defenses, and the delivery of massive ordnance onto specific deeply buried targets could not be left to chance. It required a symphony of calculated actions, each perfectly timed and flawlessly performed, transforming abstract strategic goals into tangible, devastating reality. Pre-mission planning formed the bedrock of the entire endeavor. This was an intelligence-driven process, where routes for the B-2 bombers were painstakingly designed. These routes were not simple straight lines, but complex flight paths calculated to exploit known gaps in radar coverage, to utilize terrain masking where possible, and to approach targets from unexpected angles, all to maximize the inherent stealth characteristics of the aircraft. Planners would have pored over satellite imagery, electronic intelligence, and human intelligence sources to create a digital tapestry of the operational environment, identifying threats, safe corridors, and optimal approach vectors. Contingency plans for every conceivable eventuality would have been developed, ensuring that the mission could adapt to unforeseen circumstances without compromising its core objectives. The mid-air refueling schedule was another critical element of tactical execution, a lifeline that stretched across continents. Tankers had to be in precisely the right airspace at precisely the right time, repeated roughly every 6 hours of the B-2's 37-hour flight. This required flawless coordination between the bomber crews and the tanker crews, often operating under conditions of radio silence to maintain operational security. The rendezvous itself is a demanding maneuver, requiring skill and steady nerves as a massive bomber approaches and connects with a tanker aircraft, often in darkness or challenging weather conditions. Any significant delay or failure in this aerial ballet could jeopardize the entire mission, underscoring the vital importance of this often unsung aspect of long-range air power. The final phase, target delivery, demanded ultimate precision. The GBU-57 MOPs, despite their immense size, are guided weapons, relying on a combination of GPS and inertial navigation systems, INS, to achieve pinpoint accuracy. They were released from altitudes carefully calculated to provide optimal penetration characteristics. Too low, and the bomb might not achieve sufficient velocity. Too high, and atmospheric variables could introduce inaccuracies, though advanced guidance systems mitigate this significantly. The reported release parameters, allowing for strikes from distances up to approximately 24 miles from the target, highlight the standoff capability inherent in guided munitions. allowing the launch platform to remain further from immediate point defenses. The B-2's advanced avionics would have ensured the exact release conditions were met, sending each 30,000-pound penetrator on its precisely guided path towards its deeply buried objective. Every crew member, every planner, every maintenance technician, every intelligence analyst played a role in this calculated delivery. The training is relentless, designed to forge teams capable of performing under extreme pressure with unerring accuracy. The mission represented the culmination of years, even decades, of doctrinal development, technological innovation, and continuous refinement of tactics, techniques, and procedures. It was a demonstration of how human skill, married to cutting-edge technology, can achieve outcomes that once seemed the exclusive domain of science fiction. The destruction of deeply buried facilities was not an accident. It was the direct result of a chain of perfectly executed, highly calculated tactical decisions and actions, a testament to the supreme professionalism and capability of the forces involved. Unique platform. The sheer audacity and ultimate success of Operation Midnight Hammer were inextricably linked to the singular capabilities of one specific aircraft, the B-2 Spirit bomber. In the complex equation of global power projection against heavily fortified, deeply buried targets, the B-2 stands alone, possessing a unique confluence of attributes that no other airframe can currently replicate. It is this unique combination of stealth, payload capacity, and intercontinental range that rendered it not just the ideal platform for this demanding mission, but arguably the only platform capable of executing it with such a high probability of success and without resorting to nuclear ordnance. The first, and perhaps most defining characteristic is the B-2's profound stealth. Its ability to penetrate advanced, integrated air defense systems virtually undetected, as discussed earlier, is foundational. While other aircraft possess stealth features, the B-2's design prioritizes all-aspect, broadband low observability, making it exceptionally difficult to track and engage across various sensor spectrums. This stealth is not merely an add-on. It is woven into the very fabric of its existence, from its shape to its materials to its operational procedures. For a mission requiring deep penetration into contested airspace against high-value targets, this level of stealth is non-negotiable. Without it, the risk of detection and interception would be unacceptably high, likely leading to mission failure and the loss of valuable assets. Secondly, and critically for attacking hardened underground facilities, is the B-2's substantial payload capacity, specifically its ability to carry the 30,000-pound GBU-57 MALP internally. This is a crucial distinction. External carriage of such a large munition would catastrophically compromise the stealth characteristics of any aircraft. The B-2's voluminous internal weapons bays allow it to transport 1 or 2 MOPs, a massive payload, while maintaining its meticulously designed low radar signature. This synergy of stealth and heavy payload is a rare combination. Many stealth aircraft are fighters or smaller bombers designed for air-to-air combat or carrying smaller tactical munitions. The B-2 marries the ghost-like qualities of a stealth platform with the sledgehammer punch of a heavy bomber, specifically designed to accommodate super-large conventional weapons. Thirdly, the B-2 possesses true intercontinental range, especially when augmented by aerial refueling. As demonstrated by the 7,000-mile round trip from Missouri, it can reach virtually any point on the globe without reliance on forward basing in potentially vulnerable or politically sensitive locations. This global reach provides immense strategic flexibility, allowing strikes to be launched from secure home territories, enhancing operational security and surprise. Many other bomber aircraft, even those with significant payload capacities, lack either the inherent range or the sophisticated stealth required for such a demanding deep strike mission profile into well-defended airspace. They might require numerous supporting sorties, operate at higher risk, or simply be unable to deliver the necessary class of munition. When considering alternatives, their limitations become starkly apparent. Platforms like the F-15I, while capable strike aircraft, can carry weapons like the smaller GBU-28 bunker buster, but they lack the B-2's extreme stealth. An operation using such conventional fighters would require a far larger, more complex, and more vulnerable strike package, involving extensive electronic warfare support and suppression of enemy air defenses, with a much higher chance of detection and attrition. Moreover, even the GBU-28 lacks the sheer penetrative power of the MOP, potentially rendering it insufficient against the deepest and most hardened bunkers targeted in Operation Midnight Hammer. These alternate platforms would necessitate many more sorties, increasing the risk profile exponentially, and still might fall short of achieving the desired terminal effects on deeply buried structures. The B-2, therefore, wasn't just a choice. It was a necessity for the specific parameters of this mission, embodying a unique solution to a unique strategic challenge. Mission synthesis. The true power and significance of Operation Midnight Hammer lie not in any single component, but in the masterful synthesis of its core capabilities. The profound stealth allowing undetected penetration, the massive ordnance capable of reaching deeply buried secrets, and the global reach enabling strikes from distant sanctuaries, all supported by an intricate web of integrated assets. It was the seamless fusion of these elements that transformed a daring concept into a stark reality, demonstrating a new threshold in conventional military power, an ability to hold even the most fortified and remote strategic targets at risk without resorting to the ultimate weapons. This operation was more than a series of individual achievements. It was a holistic display of coordinated power, executed with breathtaking precision. The foundation of the entire operation was undeniably the B-2's stealth. This was the silent enabler, the key that unlocked access to airspace bristling with advanced defenses. Without the ability to approach undetected, the mission would have faced insurmountable odds. This low observability, a product of decades of technological innovation, allowed a small number of aircraft to achieve what a much larger force of conventional bombers might have failed to accomplish, or could only have attempted at catastrophic cost. Stealth brought surprise, and surprise in this context was an overwhelming tactical advantage, neutralizing the enemy's ability to react effectively until it was far too late. It was the invisible cloak that allowed the sword to be positioned directly over the heart of the target. Then came the sword itself, the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator making its combat debut. This weapon represented the culmination of efforts to develop a conventional means of neutralizing deeply buried, hardened structures that had previously seemed impervious to anything but nuclear attack. The ability of the B-2 to carry these 30,000-pound behemoths internally without compromising its stealth profile and deliver them with pinpoint GPS-INS accuracy was critical. This ensured that the incredible penetrating power of the MOP was brought to bear precisely where it was needed most, striking at the core of Iran's most sensitive nuclear facilities. The one-two punch of stealthy delivery and overwhelming, precisely targeted destructive force was the essence of the strike. Underpinning both stealth and payload delivery was the element of global reach, facilitated by continuous mid-air refueling. The B-2's intercontinental flight from Missouri, spanning some 37 hours, demonstrated an ability to project power across vast distances, independent of vulnerable forward bases. This strategic reach not only enhanced operational security and the element of surprise, but also sent a clear message about the truly global nature of this capability. Combined with the integrated support from F-22 escorts, ISR, and electronic warfare aircraft, and the suppressive effects of simultaneously launched Tomahawk cruise missiles, a complex, multi-layered operation unfolded with symphonic precision. This ecosystem of support ensured that the B-2s could execute their primary mission with the highest probability of success. By bringing these distinct but complementary capabilities together, stealth penetration, massive ordnance delivery, intercontinental reach, and integrated multi-domain support, the United States executed a coordinated precision strike on Iran's most heavily fortified nuclear sites. This was an operation that, by many estimations, was previously thought unachievable through purely conventional means. It wasn't just about advanced aircraft or powerful bombs. It was about the sophisticated doctrine, the meticulous planning, the highly trained personnel, and the seamless integration of technology and tactics that allowed these disparate elements to function as a cohesive, overwhelmingly effective whole. Operation Midnight Hammer was a stark demonstration of how these synthesized capabilities can redefine the boundaries of conventional warfare and strategic deterrence.